Yeah.
Potential solutions. Should more loans be made available to women business owners and entrepreneurs? Should political parties increase recruiting of women as elected officials? What are some of the things that can strategically be done that we can take away from here as action goals?
Yes, 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 and yes. But then in addition to that, I think we have to make sure that, and I think it's incumbent on us as women, we're talking about how women are not always as supportive in some places, to support each other. And the other thing that I think is important is to make sure that we take advantage of that opportunity where we are a third of the people in the room, or half of the people in the room, or even just a couple of the people in the room. Make sure that we're taking advantage of the power that comes with that opportunity, and the power to affect policy changes, the power to affect who gets on television, or who gets writes the script, or who gets what part. I mean, I think part of the way we make change is, yes, we hire people and we have more people in there, but then once you're there, you have to make sure that you are really making that change. And to what we said before, bringing others along with you.
I just want to follow up what Julie said earlier about how important it is to have women and diverse newsroom leaders. I'm going to embarrass my boss, she's not here, but our Metro/business editor back in Detroit, Joanna Firestone, when she was at another paper about 30 years ago, having a child, it was a senior position, her boss told her she had to be back at work in a month or she'd lose her job. And as a result, she has been extremely family friendly, and everybody, both women and men, having children in the newsroom. And so, it's just, you can't underestimate or overestimate how important it is to have women in a newsroom in key positions who recognize the importance of diversity. And I don't think there's any easy answer in terms of increasing the numbers, but it's gotta be something that's a priority. And at the news, our bosses have made it a priority to have a diverse newsroom leaders, not just diverse reporters. And I think it's reflected in the coverage.
And David, I want to volley one more to you. Hopefully our other panelists can chime in as well. From the media perspective as well, with the images of women that we're seeing, what can we do strategically in terms of how women are being portrayed in the media?
I don't have a good answer to that, because look at the internet. How many websites, how many magazines, are their sales based on those images? And I don't know how you turn that faucet off, at least given that there's a presumed huge demand from the TMZs and the People magazines and all the other outlets that are running these photos, and every newspaper has a celebrity photos. So I think it's going to have to be leaders in media and government saying that, what is the long-term impact of these images on children, and like my 3-year-old girl, and from the princess books to the image you see in the media, that has a big impact on how women view themselves. And so, no, I don't know. Does anybody have a good answer?
Wives or whatever. And if your daughter behaved that way, she would not survive. And I don't know how they have companions, because most men I know would not put up with that kind of work, because I don't do it. If it's not right, we should not be consuming it, because things that are not rewarded, that are not being supported financially, are not sustainable. So I just want to put this.
Roland, I see you over there saying, who me. I know you got that.
No, I heard David's comment. I'm sorry, you can't change it. You can't. Black people watch 45 hours of TV a week. Black women watch 7 hours and 18 minutes of TV a day. 38 minutes more than black men. You are being targeted by cable networks. You are the prize of cable networks, because black women drive consumer demand in the household. Black women shut down sorority sisters. So black women some of these shows like Love and Hip Hop, that's my escape. I need you to understand the trajectory. Flavor Flav show resulted in I Love New York. Black people built the reality series on MTV and VH1. Now here's what's amazing. If TV1 put on any one of those shows, y'all would boycott us. If you were watching those shows, you're actually killing black networks because we can't compete against those shows. And when we go to the advertisers, they say they got 2.5 million, you got 500,000, my money's going over here. You are driving those numbers, and so the challenge, you're not going to get it from government. Black women must use their networks, and if you voted at a high rate in 2008, 2012, any other group in America, you're driving economics, you should say, how do you use your networks to let it be known to advertisers? If you advertise on Love and Hip Hop, on Real Housewives, we will not buy your product. You pull the dollars, sorority sisters will shut down because black dollars, because advertisers, all 80 advertisers pulled away. So the decision has to be from the consumer. Are you willing to use your power to say, you advertise there, we're not buying your product, and since black women control the pocketbook, and the advertisers know it was why they target you, you do that, shows will go away, and then you're not going to have those